It's estimated that 1.9 billion people will use in-store mobile transactions to pay for purchases by the year 2019. And according to my guest, traditional banks are poised to lose as much as 50% of their ownership of the payment space by the end of this year. This is the MoneyMakers. I'm Bruce Whitfield. Tonight, I'm joined by Brian Richardson. He's the chief executive and co-founder of WIZZIT International. Oh, they've added the international since I last saw him. They've just partnered with Ubank to become the bank's mobile and digital payment platform. Just give me a quick synopsis of WIZZIT. When I first met you probably 10 years ago, you had a light aircraft. You would pop from farm to farm in Mpumalanga, sign up farm workers on old-fashioned Nokia 3310s.
Absolutely, feature phones. And we were the first to launch with USSD because that was the platform of choice that worked on feature phones. We launched in South Africa because we wanted to prove the concept. It had to be commercially viable. We're nice people and we've got a strong philanthropic motivation and social motivation. For my sins, I'm a social entrepreneur and a Ashoka fellow because we've got so many unbanked people in the world. So we've proven the model in South Africa, and then according to our vision, we are now on 3 continents, 14 countries, and growing. And signing up Ubank has been fantastic for us.
Okay, let's talk about Ubank in a second. Have you got your own license? Has the Reserve Bank given you your own license?
It was not part of our model. We utilize the license of South African Bank of Athens, and that's been a long-standing partnership.
That's been a good partnership for you.
It's been a great partnership, and an alliance banking model, which has worked very well. And but in other countries, we purely license the technology and the model to existing banks.
So you do what Discovery does with Vitality, and you say, you know your business, you know your bank, here's an add-on.
Exactly.
There's the value add-on.
Exactly, and it's interesting because banks traditionally, and I'm talking about globally, don't really outsource things.
It's a security technology issue, sure. But you've proven the fact that the WIZZIT model works, and it is very low impact, feature light banking. There's nothing complicated about it. I'm not going to get a mortgage or a car loan from you, am I?
Not at all. It's pure transaction facility. But from a bank's perspective, they build a track record and they build some credibility with their bank. So if they need to access credit at any point in time, as we all do from time to time, they're at least with a recognized financial institution, not dealing with some machiniza who's ripping them off at exorbitant rates.
Now, tell me about the Ubank tie-up.
As I said, our focus has been outside of South Africa for the last number of years. Ubank has been a real good bank for the last 40 years, but very focused on the mining community, was looking at ways to get itself into other segments of the market, and I think realized that they needed technology to assist them to do it. The world is moving mobile. A lot of the progressive banks in the world have got mobile, in fact, as core to their strategy, and then building other products around that. Because if they're not going to do it, competitors will come along and do it. And we've seen that in places like East Africa, where M-Pesa has done a fantastic job.
But there's M-Pesa in East Africa, absolutely marvelous. Yep. In South Africa, M-Pesa, Nedbank brought it in with Vodacom. It crashed and burned. It didn't really get the sort of traction. Mobile banking at MTN, are they still doing that?
Not really, no.
How have you survived where the 2 big cell phone operators have failed to make moves into the payment space? It's the most logical banking technology tie-up, yet they haven't got it right.
They haven't got it right, Bruce, and I get involved with various forums around the world. At Harvard Business School, they've written both up as a case study, and we get involved in the debates around it. I think it starts really understanding the needs of the market. It's saying, what does an unbanked person need? What are the pain points? How can we solve those pain points? How can we make their life safer and more convenient? Yeah, we forget, you and I probably can't ever remember what it was like to be unbanked, but how do you pay a bill? How do you pay in Albania?
You've only got to lose your credit card to know just how dependent you are on banking services.
You panic. In Albania, it's a fascinating market.
So Albania, let's move there quickly, because you're on 3 continents, 14 different countries recently in Albania.
Yeah, and just I'm using it purely as an example to look at the needs of the market. 25% of the population pays for electricity. 75% do not pay for electricity, not because they don't want to pay, but because they can't pay. The only place that you can pay for electricity is at the post office. So you walk along to the post office, or you might send your secretary. There is a queue around the block, and you say, I'll come back next month. You come back next month, exactly the same
The,
month after.
the disincentive is there. There's no incentive to be more compliant.
So now you launch with a mobile platform, you tie electricity into it, and suddenly people are able to pay for their electricity from the comfort of their home, not stand in any lines. That's what I'm talking about, understanding the needs of the market.
Now, but then it's you're becoming a big emerging markets player because you've been operating outside of South Africa too. That's where most of your focus has been. Because the reason why M-Pesa didn't work here is because the banks are pervasive. They're in every small town and every small place. So you're not going to beat them here. But you can compete in other markets. African markets, where are you?
We are in Zambia, Tanzania, Botswana, Namibia, Nigeria, Rwanda, hopefully launching in Ghana very, very soon, Cameroon very soon. So great market there. I think Ethiopia is the next one that we're going to be having a very close look at.
Into the Middle East?
Not yet.
But so you've skipped over the Middle East and into Eastern Europe.
Into Eastern Europe, we're in Romania and Albania.
Is Albania, that's the bridgehead, is it?
Yes. Albania is just a great market. And again, a great example where you've got a passionate chief executive officer who is driving this, and he's seeing the future of his bank is around technology and specifically around mobile. So they've built their entire strategy around mobile. In Mexico, we're about to go live, so I can't disclose the name of the bank, but just such an enormous opportunity. Whether Mr. Trump's wall will be good or bad for the remittance business remains to be seen, but it might be very good. We're in Honduras and other opportunities in Central America.
Now, from a management perspective, this sounds like an absolute nightmare, but you're not actually managing. You're managing the platform rather than the operations and the sales and the marketing.
Correct. I do a lot of that upfront work, but today with cloud-hosted solutions, it's fantastic. It's very easy. We can implement a full system from signing of contracts to a bank going live in whatever country it is within 8 to 12 weeks with their own branded, customized platform.
And
so
it's the same platform?
Same platform. That's what we've done with Ubank. Same platform with minor tweaks depending on the situation, circumstances, and our whole revenue model is based on their success. If they're successful, we're successful. So we've got a very strong vested interest to make sure they're successful in sharing our 12 years experience.
I mean, here you are, Latin America, in Europe, on the African continent as well. This is probably, potentially, one of the world's newest, dare I call you an emerging markets banking platform?
I think you could. And we love emerging markets. We understand emerging markets. And the exciting thing for us, Bruce, is that every one of our partner banks is profitable on this channel. So we've proven that you can work at the bottom of the pyramid and you can build a profitable, sustainable business. That's exciting. Is
that what Standard Chartered wanted to do with 2020, do you think?
I think so. I think
that was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
We should really let it go. But history is interesting.
But I think that was really the first internet bank.
Yeah.
So they were aimed at probably already banked customers, because there's quite a high correlation globally between number of people banked and access to internet, and it ties up very, very closely. So their focus was probably a direct competitor to for very big and powerful entities in South Africa, which probably made their task a little bit more challenging than what we had to face.
Are your customers? Your customers are the banks, not
correct.
Their customers. Their customers are their customers, and your customers are the banks. Are they signing on brand new clients as a result of the technology?
Absolutely. Two quick examples. Zambia, our partner bank there, went from the number 6 bank to the number 1 bank, and the CEO directly attributed to the launch of mobile banking. In Albania, we are working with the 16th biggest bank out of 19.
Yes.
It is the most innovative bank, and through this electricity module will probably end up in the next couple of years as the biggest in terms of transactional volume. Hugely exciting.
So, how many people's lives are you then touching through Little WIZZIT? I can't even call you Little WIZZIT anymore.
Well, Little WIZZIT is growing. It's probably a teenager. We've still got a long way to go, and we're probably touching the lives of 9 million customers on a monthly basis, which is very nice. And from a South African company perspective, there's a lot of innovation coming out of our little market, which we should be very proud of.
Do you still stay here? Do you still stay domiciled here? Because there seems to be less and less reason.
I am, and I love it here. I do spend a lot of time traveling on airlines, and I'll tell you one thing, I spent a lot of time in the United States during the course of this year. We are far more sophisticated with much more reliable airlines than you'll ever find in the United States.
And banks.
Oh, banks. Checks are growing in the United States.
But is that extraordinary? I mean, I remember watching a copy, there was a sort of a newsroom series, and Jeff Bridges was the lead actor writing checks to people. I actually had to Google, does America still use checks? Okay. And as a method of transaction, it is growing in Trump's America.
It is growing. And
it's not Trump's fault, by the way.
No, it's not. No,
it's a trusted mechanism.
Yeah. And it works. And in talking to the banks there, as I say, I spent time there, they say, why fix something that's not broken? It works. The postal system works. People trust it. And if you issue a dud check, try and get some credit after you've done that.
No, but there are repercussions, and everyone understands those repercussions. In the digital world, however, you don't need the infrastructure. No, it's all done through ones and zeros.
And some of the exciting stuff that I think we'll see emerging and coming to fruition next year is the whole blockchain, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies.
Now, a lot of people are deeply suspicious, okay, because the moment you can talk about cryptocurrency and people don't know what you're talking about. The moment you say Bitcoin, they see massive volatility, and they see conspiracies, and those who buy in seriously. Yep. But even people who work for the Bitcoin company in South Africa don't get paid in Bitcoins. You got to question it.
Sure.
But it's the underlying technology that allows for packets of data to be transferred at virtually no cost.
Absolutely, and very, very quickly. So I use a silly example. In that I had to pay an individual, not a company, in Turkey. I was going on a little boat cruise. It took 2 weeks to get the transfer from my account to his bank account in Turkey. Using blockchain technology, you can do that transaction probably in less than 8 minutes.
It'll be like sending an SMS, effectively.
So I think we're going to see quite a lot of changes on that.
Is that where you're going?
We have built such great strategic relationships with our partner banks. I think they look to us to say, well, gee, you gave us this great innovation, what's next? So we do try to stay at the forefront of technology, but still try and stay focused. Our customers, we know who our customers are, we know what they're looking for, and we want to grow with them,
Homegrown global innovation.
Absolutely.
Very nice to see you again, Brian Richardson. It's been a very long time. Brian Richardson, Chief Executive and Co-founder of WIZZIT International. 3 continents, 14 different countries, with more to come in the new year. More disruptions in the financial services sector in the next couple of weeks, no doubt. But right now, have yourselves a very good evening. Good night.